Have you ever had the experience of telling yourself to calm down, but your body didn't listen, did not register that thought process? You can understand what is happening logically, but still feel anxious, overwhelmed, or stuck because the nervous system does not start in the mind. So the regulation of the nervous system also cannot start in the mind. It starts in the body through your central nervous system. And in today's episode, I'm going to walk you through 3 simple somatic tools that you can use to reset your central nervous system in under 10 minutes, anytime, anywhere. So let's jump in. So why does the nervous system not respond to logic? Most high achievers or high functioning folks often try to regulate their nervous system through thought, through thinking, not feeling. And the nervous system does not respond to thought. It does not respond to cognitive activity. It is a physiological and experiential system, so that it's not going to respond to you telling it what to do. You have to tune in to the physical experience of the central nervous system. So you can know that you're safe and still feel activated. The body holds patterns from past experiences in our lives, and regulation requires a bottom-up processing, not a top-down awareness. So instead of trying to think your way into calm, let's move into the body. So somatic tool number 1 is what we call the physiological sigh. And when we sigh, or even when we yawn, we activate the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest, relax, and digest portion of our nervous system. It is the mirror opposite of the fight, flight, or freeze, which is the sympathetic nervous system. So a simple breath technique that signals safety to your body or to your nervous system is what is needed in this approach. So how it works is you take a deep inhale in and then a short inhale behind it. So it's like taking a gulp of water and then a sip of water behind it. And then you exhale out, slow, long exhales. Those slow, long exhales activate the nervous system, activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So it would look like and sound like right? That's it. You would do that practice about 3 to 5 rounds, and it allows you to drop out of your head into your body, activating the parasympathetic nervous system. It helps you to release built up carbon dioxide, and it also will then quickly reduce your stress response. It's one of the fastest ways to interrupt the anxiety that could come from stress in the moment. So I want you to kind of hold that practice in your mind. Practice that for yourself today. You can use this before a meeting. You can use this before you're going to go into what you might think is going to be a stressful conversation, or you could use this after a stressful conversation. You can also use this when you feel your body tightening for any reason at all. Now, the second somatic tool is orienting yourself to safety. What is that? It is a grounding practice that you can use anywhere. So if you're in a room, you want to bring your attention to 5 things that you see in the room. And what can happen with this practice is it will bring your nervous system into the present moment. And so here's how it works. You slowly look around your environment. You can also do this outside, but you slowly look around your environment. And so from where I'm sitting, I'm looking at a laptop. I'm looking at a lamp. I have a microphone. I have a glass of water. I have a lamp farther away and a picture on the wall. And so as you look at those 5 items in your space, you want to name them. You can do that out loud or in your mind. And you want to look at the color of those items. You want to look at the texture of those items and the shapes of those items. What this practice does is that it orients you back here to time and space. It lets your body register, I am here and I am safe. And so this is a wonderful way to bring yourself back out of an anxiety spiral, out of a stress response, because it shifts you out of survival mode and shifts you out of your head, engages again your vagus nerve, and reorients you to this present time in safety. So anxiety often comes from the body being somewhere else, quote unquote. And this helps to bring you back. So it's one of my favorite practices to use for anxiety. The third somatic tool I will offer you is a shake and release. In the animal kingdom, and we used to also do this as human beings, when you have, say, a gazelle who's being chased by a tiger, that gazelle takes off running. And if it outruns the tiger and gets to a place of safety, the gazelle stops, pauses, looks around, and shakes. And it just basically is shaking off that stress response. It's shaking off the fear. It is shaking off that energy that it just had to use to save its own life. Now, we as humans don't generally in the modern times have something that's going to be chasing them, right? But our lives can be stressful and can trigger a stress response. So in those moments, you want to complete the stress response cycle just as the gazelle did. And so you will want to pause when you realize you are revved up, but you are also safe. You want to take 1 minute to 2 minutes to shake. And you start with your hands. You move through your arms, shaking your shoulders, shaking your torso, and let it move down through your hips, into your legs, and down through your feet. And you want to shake, jump if you can, but it's basically you are shaking it off. That is the goal. And what that will do is it signals to your nervous system to release that adrenaline-filled experience of stress. And as you shake, your body gets the message to release that energy. It's not performative. You don't have to dance and make it pretty. Just shake. It is about the movement itself. For anywhere from 60 seconds to 120 seconds. Releasing those stored up stress hormones and the tension in the body is key. Completing the stress cycle is key. And what it does is to prevent emotional buildup. Your body was designed to move stress out, but most of us suppress the stress response instead, and that does us no good service. So allow yourself to shake and then notice how you feel afterwards. All right. And then finally, I want to share with you this idea of the alignment triangle, which I use as a framework in my work with people around regulating the nervous system. Regulation happens when these three things become aligned. It's when your mind registers what's happening in your environment, what's really happening. So we can have a stressful moment, but then we can also realize that we are safe. And so when the amygdala, which is in the back of the mind, gets triggered, we can also use our frontal cortex to notice that we're safe and to calm that central nervous system by engaging then in these somatic tools to calm us back down. And that takes our knowing that those practices are going to be helpful. Also, the body, the second side of the alignment triangle. It is about regulating the nervous system, always. So coming back to those three practices that you can use in under 10 minutes. And then the third side of the triangle is the spirit. That spirit or that energetic side of you that trusts your inner wisdom and trusts your inner safety and capacity to take care of yourself and to re-regulate. If you only work with the mind, you'll always feel stuck in reference to stress and anxiety. You've got to work with the body. You've got to work with the nervous system to create real change. Now, you'll want to pause and ask yourself, when I feel overwhelmed, do I try to think my way out of it, or do I try to support my body and nervous system through it? Stress is part of life, and we are designed to allow stress to move through us. Use your body in the way it was magnificently designed. Regulation is not something that you achieve once. It is something that you practice on a daily basis. Remember that. And the more you support your nervous system, the more that you'll have the capacity to create and have clarity and alignment in your life, along with expansion. So if this resonated with you and you feel like you can use one or more of these practices, I invite you to drop me a note and let me know how it goes. And I also want to invite you to my circle community called the Expansion Room. This is a space where we talk about nervous system regulation and how to go deeper into mindset shifts and embodied growth. You'll find the link in the show notes in the bottom of the comment section. And I hope to see you next week here in the Expansion Room. Take care.